Alright guys, I'm back in the pitster today and I adjusted the clutch. So much better to have this little clutch adjusted. It feels better. Now here's the thing, I think it might be leaking just a little bit, but I cannot be sure, so I added some fluid, and after this ride I'm going to check on it again. Now my goal is not to go too far, but I need to put a few miles just so I can see how it rides. So why get a Pitster Pro? I think they have a new name now, but why get a Pitster Pro as opposed to any other 250? Well, for one, let's look at the pros and the cons. The biggest pro is this thing, brand new, is very inexpensive. So I believe that this was bought I think a few years ago for $2,800. And not only it's a 250, but it's also street legal right off the bat. It's got signals, it's got a headlight, it's got a digital dash that's better than most dirt bikes. Definitely better than Honda's. I mean, it's a little cheap looking and chunky, but a digital dash, it's kind of hard to get on a 250. This one's got a speedo. This one's got a gear indicator. It's got a voltage meter for your battery, and it's got the odometer and a trip meter. So that's a lot for a little dirt bike. Now, it's got like dirt bike tires, so I'm being very careful about riding it. Let's see if I can pull into here really quick and check out. I don't think anybody's here. So I just kind of like to go here so we can look at the bike together. This is the Pitster XTR. It's a 230-ish copy, CRF 230L copy from Honda. It's Chinese, it's got some mods, but this bike is surprisingly good. I'm really liking it. You know, I do have to change some things like this. This is just a matter of getting hit, but I don't like that the hydraulic clutch, unfortunately, like aims that way. So pros, there's tons of pros. Cheapness is one of them. It's good looking. It's a 250, so it's actually like that right size for just about everybody that wants to ride. If you're riding dirt, you want to get this. You don't want to ride a Yamaha Super Tenere off-road. This is really what you want to ride. And these things are so easy to pick up. If you ever drop it, and of course you're going to drop it off-road. So you're going to drop it, you want something light to pick it up. Let's stop pretending that you're doing off-road on a BMW GS, okay? You know, like whenever you see these pictures of these guys in creeks, each pulling each other out, there's a reason there's photos of it. Now, if this bike went through a creek, there would be no photos because it's easy to get through a creek. It's like a non-issue, but on a big bike, it's an issue. So, you want to have a 250. This is like a 250, even though it's a little bit smaller. Now my friend did a few mods on it. He put like the seat, the rack. The rack is missing the right side, but if you look at this right here, that's a side rack, so you can do dual sporting. You know, put his bags on there, even go for, you know, a coffee or whatever. So you have space to put stuff. The engine looks very cheap. The metal on the engine looks very cheap, but it's an air-cooled single-cylinder 250. There are a few other mods. So of course we got the hydraulic clutch. On this you kind of need it. You do kind of need the hydraulic clutch because the pull of the old clutch was extremely bad, but you could always fix it up with just lubing your clutch. It comes with mirrors, lights, everything. I did put this on, but I have not put the other one. I have not put the hand grip as well. The dash is something that you don't get from a lot of the Japanese manufacturers. Look at that. Also, here's another cheapness. When you turn it off, sometimes it stays stuck on the 2. Kind of weird. The key is also kind of interesting. It's like this kind of weird shape. Looks kind of cheap, but it kind of covers the ignition, and that's a huge benefit. Another really big benefit, it's got upside down forks, and all the wiring is already done. It's got a massive single disc rotor up front, and yeah, like, it's got good foot pegs. One of the criticism I have is this really long kickstand, but I guess if you're putting it like this, you want to have less weight on the kickstand, so that's the reason it's so long. Another really big benefit is this. Now, I don't intend on using this too much, but it is there for a backup, but it does have electric start. It is carbureted. It is not a bike that's fuel injected. These days, it's kind of hard to find a carbureted bike. The KLR 650 I had was carbureted. That's kind of an odd duck. Every single thing is coming out as fuel injected, except now the Chinese bikes like this. So the exhaust sounds pretty good, and I removed the exhaust and it's very light. Another con of this is that the battery is under the seat. Normally you would just remove this bolt and that and pop the seat off, but because of the rack, that you have to remove this, another one here, another one there, another one there. So it makes it a little bit more of a pain to get to. It's got a different sprocket, so that's going to make it a little bit better for dual sporting, and not so much for regular dirt riding. But dual sporting is a better thing for this bike. So another thing is that the start button is right there. It's so odd having a start button there, but let's see how she feels out on the road. A Chinese bike for under $3,000 that gives you this much is very difficult to find. Like, when you look at the Honda CRF 230L dual sported, I don't think you get the same amount of stuff than you do with this. Now, here's the major negative of this bike. Are you ready? It's the resale. There is no resale for Chinese stuff. Even if this is a good bike, if you buy it for new pricing, you're not going to get a fraction of that, unfortunately, because nobody's looking for the keyword pitster. There's like very little demand. But the people that do have this bike, they do tend to keep it. So it's not a big deal, but when you kind of consider that a lot of people do trade their bikes every 4 years, this is going to be the bike that the resale is going to be so bad that you might have to give it away. Another negative thing about this bike is that where do you get parts? I guess you're going to have to get them from Pitster, but who the hell wants that? I want to be able to go to any local shop. I want to be able to like look up on Amazon and just buy the part. I have a hard time turning on this bike. The seat is also extremely hard, but that's a dirt bike seat, you can't complain too much. It's not meant for sitting on. You want to be able to kind of stand up. Look how awesome this is. This guy was right on the other side of the road. What the hell is this guy doing? I think he's got loose. Man, he almost hit the rail. What is he doing? This guy is just a mess. He was on the other side of the road. Look at that. He almost swerved it. He's over the shoulder. Why wouldn't he be on the phone? That's the question. Why wouldn't this guy be on the phone? Look, he can barely do two things at the same time. Not a multitasker. He's over on the grass. Over on the grass. Look at, okay, car over there. Trash about the... He's on the grass. This guy's on the grass. What are you doing? This guy is not the sharpest tool in the shed here. Man, what a terrible driver. Let's hope there's no cyclist. Is he gonna go over to the other lane? This guy, old big truck on the phone over the double yellow. Car coming over the double yellow. Now he's speeding up. Look at that. Now he's like taking off like a banshee out of hell. And he's over the double yellow again. Man, what a double yellow cresting a hill. My God, this guy's on the other side of the road. What a jackass. Look at that, over the double yellow. He's taking over the entire yellow. Is he drunk? Jesus, man, what a douche. Double yellow, car coming. Look at this. Over the double yellow again. He is on the other side of the road. He's on the other side of the road, on a corner. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Look at this, on the other side of the road. This is the dumbest human I've ever seen in a while, or I've seen in a while. What is this guy doing? Double yellow, cresting a hill. Oh, he's turning right. No blinker, of course. Oh, he's gonna go into the gas station. What a douche. What a douche. God, I hate that guy so much. What a douche. I hate those people. God damn. What the hell? Today is 4th of July, I think. What is it like? Well, today's Sunday. So it is, I guess, 4th of July weekend. So he's completely blasted. So I might just cut this ride short. I think people just lose all sorts of control with their booze. Yeah, I'm trying to like ride this bike a little bit by little, just so I can see how she behaves. And she's doing pretty darn well. I mean, listen to that, 50 miles an hour. This is 250. Pretty easily. 62, 63, 64. Chain needs to be lubricated. It's hard to believe that it's Chinese. Really amazing. High-end components, decent brakes, but we need to test this out off-road. So my on-road is done for testing. The next time that I do a ride, it's going to be off-road. Alright, Squids, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Sounds good.
Without much further ado, I give you the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good.
What is this?
A center for ants!
Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.